What is happening, Carib boys and girls? How are you going? How are you going? I hope everybody is well. Alright, now, here before we start chatting today, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Our last video here, the results, the analytics on it, the views, the watch time, all you just mash it up, boy. And yeah, I'm making the content, but it's all your faithfulness, is all your interest in anything that I do or say that is really the driving force of all of this. So a heartfelt thank you very much to everybody and anybody who does tune in. If you're tuning in here for the first time, welcome and much gratitude, right? So here now, so you can say we start a kind of series, right? Talk about buying and Trinidad and Pokemon cards and that kind of thing, right? Now, I want to kind of focus on the discussion today in terms of selling Pokemon cards, right? Now, we have a lot of people coming into the hobby on a global scale and on a national scale to some degree, right? A lot of people even coming back to the game. Fans of it who would have had cards in secondary school and Form 1 and thing like me, jumping back into the vibes, right? And that is lovely, right? Now, we have to admit that a big part of the new intrigue or renewed intrigue into the hobby and to the game, a lot of that intrigue is piqued by the recent developments in terms of, late last year there. Of course, we have the real world circumstance, the pandemic, you understand? And all the effects of that trickling down to business and big companies, and Pokemon not excluded, right? So, in this whole thing now, people home and thing, and there was a large increase in the need for at-home activities, collectibles, shut up, not just Pokemon. And so, with all that bacchanal going on now, people who on the scene would understand, and people who are on the scene, I don't want to bring too much attention to everybody because they don't have enough, right? But a small thing, you have the big names like Leon Hart and Logan Paul and thing, and some big things happening where a man buy a box for 220,000 US. Bam, he gonna do a box opening on a channel, over 2 million views. So domino effect kind of thing taking place now, and all that bacchanal taking place. Pokemon prices start to shoot up, especially the Charizard, that's the star boy. So I won't lie, I have loved Pokemon ever since. Pokemon is my thing. From school days up to adulthood, people, hey, you're a real Pokemon freak, them kind of stupidness, right? But they ain't calling me that now though. But anyhow. Yeah, so I always like the thing, always playing the games. I lie, I fell off the wagon for a good few generations between Gold and Moon. That was my last two games. I had Gold, and then I jumped to Moon, and I had Sword and Shield, of course. And being on the Pokemon scene, how social media and algorithms and things work, And as we talk about algorithm, if you haven't yet beat up that like button, it is a big part in helping me promote the channel. So you can take a second and beat up that like button right now. Sorry, I mean you just have to beat it once. I want that blow. Don't beat it twice because you're going to unlike it now, right? Right. So all this thing taking place, and Pokemon prices going up, yada yada yada. And being, looking at the VGC getting strong in that around November, November, December there. I started to see news about the Pokemon cards, and Leon Hart started to pop up a lot on my feed, and seeing him open packs, that just that kind of reignite something. And I started to talk to the local stores that I know, hey, all their cards and who does play. I wanted to find out about the community, because I don't want to get into something that as we just call in Trinidad and Tobago, is a dead horse now, right? But what I learned at the time, I decided, hey, let me jump in, right? And that is when I jump in at Vivid Voltage. And the moment I jump in, I start to see, well, hey, old cards is a thing, let me see. And then it started to all dawn on me what is going on about prices and things. I said, but I jump in a bar. I can't even afford vintage cards no more. I can't complete a vintage set because I can't afford a Charizard. But anyhow, it's not so serious. And so, I won't lie, my initial stimuli for coming in was really nostalgia and my love for the game and Pokemon itself, right? But coming into it and find out how it is on the economic side, that was an added incentive. Now, like that, I guess it's probably my personality. I jump in and I say, well, let me see how this thing going. And you have various avenues. You talk to people to find out how prices go, because I mean, you hear anything online and you might want to get wild and say, well, yeah, let me come and sell any Charizard for, let me call her a 5,000 TT. But no, you're doing madness. You understand? So I decided to say, let me do a little video, yeah, to help out the scene a little bit, because the word scalper getting thrown around a lot these days, right? And what a scalper is basically somebody trying to make a quick dollar. You buy something that's in demand, but the supply not all that, or the supply is normal and the demand just shoot up. So you buy up something. Most of the time you buy plenty, you overbuy, and then you hike up your price. And so you buy a Bobby for 25 cents. It ain't no Bobby in the island. So you now selling Bobby at $5 for a Bobby, right? That's what scalping is. So you have that word scalping throwing around a lot, and on the international scene especially, that is one of the issues we're having with the Pokemon TCG. The presence of some rich scalpers, boy, dealing with the case, right? Now, coming down home now, coming to Trinidad, I wouldn't like to say that people are exactly scalpers, but they say Trinidad, tricky dad. People always are trying to do something smart down here. Well, it's not really limited to Trinidad, but we have a community. This, as much as the majority of the people who enjoy Pokemon TCG are people around my demographic in terms of age and thing, it's still a children thing. It's still a children game. You understand? Certain things won't get cleared in the scheme of Pokemon because it is geared towards children. My phone get overheat day. Sorry. Yeah. Right? How it's on the dashboard and thing, right? So, well, I come to make a little Pokestop here nomination. But, yeah, as I was saying, the game is made for children primarily. Though, I think I could check out some statistics and probably throw it up on the screen if I find. But the majority of the audience, the Pokemon audience, globally, I would say, this is an assumption at the moment. If I find the data, I'll put it up on the screen. The majority is people between 25 and 35. You understand? As I was saying, it's mainly for children. And so, there are children in the world and in the country. There's a whole junior division, which is like 11 to something. There's that junior, senior, and then master division in terms of the Pokemon TCG. So there are children involved, and then you might have children who have parents who are not into the game, and they asking their parents to shop for them or buy singles and stuff like that. And it is against my conscience to see the possibility of children getting scammed and or scalped, taken advantage of, and not say anything. I have a platform, I will do that. Alright? As well as to shed some light and my perspective on how to sell cards. Not so much as a store or a retailer of sealed product, etc., but as a player, as a collector, as somebody who actually engages and uses the cards. And would probably want to sell to either make some money or get rid of some bulk, whatever it may be. There is an economics to this thing, and so I decided to make this video to shed some insight and light on that, because it have people, you're seeing things where man coming up on in the Facebook marketplace locally and asking for some ridiculous money, even though it's vintage cards. There are ways that we'll talk about here today that you can check estimated cost, right? They call it market value. So there are pointers and indicators that you could look at to gauge how to not exactly charge for your card, but something at least of a guide, you know. There are people like that posting up thing and veteran collectors messaging them, and when they say, hey brethren or sister, you're charging a little bit too much, you know what's the cost of that thing, and saying you're telling them, veteran collectors, that they know what they're talking about and how they're new to collecting. But anyhow, when I talk about this thing, I get a little woke up. Let me behave myself and keep it cool, right? So you have that, and then you have people just unknowingly, innocently, I would say, give people the benefit of the doubt, thinking that Pokemon is hot and posting stupidness, right? I saw this one where a guy posted a Rainbow Rare Sonia, which works up to when you just do the market conversion. I go put the market price of the Sonia here and just a rough conversion to TT what it is, right? This man say he is selling it, he was traded for a phone. It still have 1100 in the market. That way you get for that. A phone? Come now, man. Yo, right? So, and the thing about it is, I don't want unsuspecting children, more so, even adults who don't know better to get catch and spend twice, sometimes more the amount of money than they should. All right. So when it comes to selling Pokemon TCG, right? you don't have to stick to this what I saying, because a majority of us in the community hold to the principle that, hey, you are the owner of something, it belongs to you, that is your property. You could put whatever value on whatever item you want. It is up to the buyer to say yes or no. But there are people who moving like pipers, and this is where Carib boy adding hippies now, moving like pipers and trying to manipulate and boy, this gonna go up in the dog, it's Pokemon anniversary thing going and multiply. Come now, man. No, right? So for anybody who new to the game, who not so new and want a standard, that's the word, a standard to look at value of cards, you can look at mainly three things I would say. You have TCG Player, which is one of probably the forerunner in terms of keeping a database of cards and the values and how they sold and stuff like that. TCG Player, it have a whole you could search cards, and when you go on it, you will see a market price, and if it's in stock, you would see the listed price. That would be how much people put it up on the site for and how much they're selling it for, right? Most times you will notice that the market price is lower than the selling price, right? Now you can use your discretion and work with those two numbers. Then you have Troll and Toad, which is our website, kind of like a marketplace for all sorts of trading card games. Not just Pokemon, you have Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh there too, among other things. Alright? Troll and Toad is another big name in terms of the TCG market on a whole. And generally you will find that Troll and Toad sells more expensive, sometimes much more expensive than TCG Player, and even so much higher than the market price, right? And then you have the all popular eBay. Now you could go on eBay and you could search up a thing, and when you search, you would see all kind of madness, right? What you're really looking at on eBay is you go to the settings and you select, after your search, you go to your filter and you select sold items, right? What this will show you is a record of what people actually paid for that product or that card or whatever it is you're inquiring about. So that is actually a real life resource in terms of understanding how things are sold, because you would look at even TCG Player market price and we'll figure, well, you have to stick to that. and I'll tell you how I just sell. You have to stick to that, but then you're seeing, so you might see someone TCG player market price for 12 US, but when you go on eBay, the most 5 recent sales itself for 20. Now you could use that now as a strong argument as to why you rate your card a certain way, in addition to whatever emotion or feeling you have attached to that item, because it's yours, as we said. All right. In terms of I'll guide on TCG player, going back to TCG player, if you're shopping there, make sure your settings are set to the United States in your searches, right? I believe it's somewhere on the top right corner. If I could figure it out, I will put screenshots to guide you from the app, all right, from the mobile app. All right, so these 3 main resources: TCG player, Troll and Toad, eBay. You could use any of them, in my opinion, to guide how you rate the value of your card. Now, we have an important thing to discuss in terms of pricing and the reality of living in the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago. If you were to purchase anything in the world outside of this country, you have to bring it in. Important goods incurs an additional cost, which is clearing, shipping, customs, these sort of things, right? And it is a popular debate when talking about TCG and cards. How do you treat with this? And it is not something I would say that is entirely negligible, but a lot of times you could bring it down to as simple as it is a choice. All right. This more so goes towards the buyer in how they respond to somebody's price. And this point has only recently been in my mind, because how I sell cards, I simply go to TCG player, look at the market price, multiply by 7, and give an average price around that, which is sometimes less, sometimes more. So if after my multiplication by 7 I get 192, I will say, well, 200. If I get like 157, I will say, well, 150. So I go around that multiplication by 7. Now there is the temptation to always go for the most expensive opportunity, all right, which is most of the time Troll and Toad. So what I assume a lot of people do is look at TCG player market price, they go look at eBay, oh gosh, then they will look at Troll and Toad listed price, right, and see so they're seeing marketplace go be 23, they go see eBay selling for 30, they go see Troll and Toad have vendors selling at 40, right? Well, I'm going to sell my card at 40. That is your choice. But the buyer also has a choice, and that is what it boils down to for Carib. Even for the people that I talk about, the examples I talk about at the earlier in the video about people overcharging. Hey, that's your choice. And both buyers and sellers, I would like to encourage everybody to approach every situation with as much respect as you can. You don't like the price a man call, you could simply say no and walk away. If you think you should tell him something, that is also your choice. But I always like to encourage people to be kind. All right, I know sometimes emotions flare when you find that this person could advantage somebody unknowingly, more so a child. I have been placed in that space as well, so I kind of talking to myself too. All right, as well as the seller, try to be fair and kind and full of respect always, because if it is you now come to this community and you are interested primarily in making a profit, buying and selling cards, flipping it to make a profit, that is fine and well, but you can't now come in the community and want to take advantage of people, because we are a small island, we are a small space. So if you come off the bat and want to advantage people, you're going to get blacklisted. Is natural in any community, right? And future Carib boy here come to stick a pin, guys. Wherever I decide to stick this into the video. I finished the filming, but a point came to mind. But in terms of selling, especially on the side of the more high-end or expensive cards, right? We have the reality as well that we are the Caribbean, we are Trinidad and Tobago. We are not a first world country powerhouse like the States or England, the UK. So in terms of TCG, if that Charizard that sold for 220,000 US was put up here only, even the community that exists, I'm not sure if anybody, even if they could afford it, if they would pelt out that kind of money on a card. And that is just to speak on our economic climate in terms of the population. And so that is something I want to big up my boys from TTPOKES. Of course, I will leave a link to their socials. So big up, guys. TTPOKES, check them out. They do sales, they do tournaments. They recently have graded cards now for up on the catalog, guys. So check it out. There's only 3 options right now. God, I wish I could take that Charizard. And that lends to the point that I'm talking about. As much as I love Pokemon and cards and stuff, even to think about dropping $1,000 on one card, Dread, woo! It's challenging for me personally. So, for example, the latest shiny Charizard that come in Shining Fates, right? Its market value will be shown here. I think it's close to 400 or 3 something by now, right? In terms of TCG player market price. You do a quick conversion to that, you get a certain amount of money. But that's probably a bad example because we recently had some discussion, somebody threw up one and people are willing to pay for it, right? But then you might have options that let me say there are options, many options of cards, vintage included, of cards worth after conversion between 5 and 10,000 Trinidad and Tobago dollars, right? A consideration that came out of the discussion between me and the guys from TTPOKES is that you might want to consider this is Trinidad, and let me say it's a fresh pull. People might not be able to afford to jump out with that kind of money. Now they might have the money, but to jump out for something like that, they might not be willing or could afford to do that. And there have been instances where people offer much below market value for cards that fall into this category. Not because they're feeling sorry, but because of course you're looking for a profit, which you're going to make, because you pull it, you paid like very, very rare example, but you pay a couple $100 or a $40 for a booster pack and you pull something worth thousands of dollars. I know somebody right now say, boy, if I pull that Charizard, I sell that thing for $1,500. That is a big profit for him. The card is worth like $2,600 from market value, from market price conversion in US converted to TT. It's about $2,600-$2,800. But he is willing to let it go for $15. And that is just encouraging to local buyers. As well as the seller is still making a profit. So I just wanted to drop that pin here, wherever this is in the video. I wanted to drop that pin to include in the discussion and possible feedback in the comments. Alright, so back to the video. So yeah, the advice is to be kind always and respect each other. Alright, I hope that this video brings some sort of information to somebody, that you guys enjoyed the information shared here. If you have any supporting views, opposing views, feel free to comment them in the comment section below. And I'll remind you again, if you like what you're seeing on Carib, beat up that like button. And especially if you're not subscribed yet, bust a subscription, join in the vibes, hit that bell so you'll be notified every time we have a video out. Alright? So, till the next time, this is your boy Carib out. All here, be good.